Good morning at 7:04 on this Friday, May 17th. It's time to head to Studio B for Coleman and Company.
Hello, everybody, and welcome. A Friday morning, and we're glad to have you with us. A little bit of liquid sunshine out there again. But if you look at the calendar, today is the first day of the last half of May. Yesterday was smack dab in the middle on the 16th, 15 before, 15 after. But anyway, let's get going for Wilson Bank and Trust this morning. We are talking about Wilson Bank and Trust each Friday at this time, and we've got Kurt Baker with us this morning. Kurt's got a long title, but Senior Vice President, I guess, is good enough. Good morning.
Good morning, Coleman.
Nice to see you.
Good to see you as always.
What's going on?
Not much. We don't have too much of a big day around the bank, do we, Gabby?
Pretty big day today.
Yep. We this morning we're kicking off the Friday morning at 7:30 with our business before hours. That's put on by the Lebanon and Wilson County Chamber of Commerce. Of course, it's also a grand reopening and ribbon cutting of our newly remodeled main office lobby. You've probably been in there since we've remodeled. I don't know about since we finished.
I haven't.
You haven't. Well, today's the perfect day to stop on by, and all of our listeners to stop on by too.
Yeah. Well, we probably should introduce Gabby Venata, Gabrielle, but Gabby for short.
That's right.
And let's see, you're a customer service manager, whatever that means, right?
That's right. I'm managing the deposit side at the main office, so I'm managing the tellers and the personal bankers.
Okay. Well, yeah, I know you want everybody to know about the newly remodeled. It's not exactly a new addition in one way, and yet it is, isn't it?
Correct. It's nothing structural. The bones are still there, but we just spruced it up. Of course, long staple of the bank has been the maroon carpet in there. The maroon carpet is gone. It's now more grays and whites and more earth tones around the main office. But, I was really concerned at first kind of because that's all our customers know for 37 years is that color scheme when they walk in, the brass chandeliers, and then now they walk in newly, freshly remodeled. But overwhelmingly, daily, we get multiple responses about how nice the main office looks. So we're really proud of it, really excited, and hope our customers enjoy it.
Well, it's really nice, too, to have a business before hours with the Chamber of Commerce there. You've had a relationship with the Chamber of Commerce as well as Wilson Bank and Trust.
Yes, sir. Many years. I'm going on 16 or 17 years with the Chamber now, and Melanie does a fine job. Andrea and all the girls over there, they truly make this county run with their advocacy of small business and industry, and we're grateful to have them because there's not many chambers like this one.
Yeah, and really to have them there this morning to kind of kick off the unveiling here of the new and improved Wilson Bank.
It is.
Main office.
Yep, we're thankful for that. And, of course, anything that we do, we don't do it lightly. We're not just stopping at 9 o'clock. So from 9 to 5 today, we're going to have our open house as well at the main office. So just if you can't make it by to the business before hours, please stop by. We'll be there till 5 with refreshments, drink, food, and stuff like that. And really today, I've shared with everybody around the main office just kind of, get your work done as you need to, but get out and, show our customers appreciation and how much we love them and support them, and we're there for them, so we're looking forward to sharing the day with them.
That goes a long way to especially retaining customers. Show your appreciation.
Absolutely. It's all about that relationship and not looking at things transactionally, but looking at the person in front of you and what their needs are, no matter how big or small. Doesn't matter how much money you have. I mean, everybody's, whether there's $100 in your checking account or $100,000, that money's important to that person. Right. So that's what we're there for, and today we're just going to have a little fun.
Well, Gabby, add to all that. Tell us a little bit more about yourself, perhaps, and your time at Wilson Bank.
Sure. I've been with Wilson Bank for going on 7 years. I started off at the Badura Parkway branch with Alan Ricketts. So I was a teller there and a personal banker, and then I joined the main office with Kurt, and I was his assistant for about 3 years. And I've just recently started managing the tellers and the personal bankers, and I love it. We have a great time in our community and just loving on our customers every day.
Well, one of the things we've heard many times about Wilson Bank and Trust about it scores well on some of these I don't know whether they're contests, but they're surveys maybe of people, of places where people love to work. And
Best workplace.
You've come through well on that.
Yes, sir.
Yep, we've been best workplace in our classification for several years running now through the Tennessean is who puts that on. So we're proud of that, and our employees love it. It's just something to be proud of. I mean, when you have 620 employees all across the 8-9 counties that we serve. We can't get together in one small room like we used to, but we still have that, great work environment where it's part of a big family. And, I've been there 19 years, and Coleman, I don't see myself anywhere else. It's a
You
great
usually
place.
want to say hello to somebody. You want to do that this morning?
I do, and I'm sure Gabby probably does too. First off, I can't forget my wife. She always says, you mention the kids, but you don't mention me. But, honey, Joanne, I love you. Hope you have a great day at work and the kids aren't driving you crazy. And Anderson and Colt, I hope you enjoy your Friday at Byers Dowdy, and we love you, and I hope you have a good day.
That's one of the things I've really admired about Kurt Baker, the way he never forgets his children, and that's great. What about you this morning?
Yep, I'll say good morning to all my family that might be listening, and to my son Waylon. He's going to Sam Houston this morning, so I hope he has a great day.
All right. Well,
And I got to say hi to my mom and dad. They're listening too. And they listen when they're in Florida too, all the way in Florida. So, Mom, Dad, I hope you're having a good cup of coffee. Love y'all, and hope y'all have a good day.
well, we thank you both for being with us this morning, Kurt Baker and Gabby Vanetta, Wilson Bank and Trust, member FDIC, equal housing lender. They're still here, still independent, still committed to you. Excellence in banking since 1987.
Still going.
Thank you very much.
Yep.
Okay, 10 minutes after the hour. I don't get to have the county commission members on my program as often as I would like, to be honest about it. But I do have another one today, and I'm excited to have Mike Kurtz here this morning. Mike, good morning.
Good morning, Coleman. How are you doing this
I'm
morning?
doing well. What district do you represent?
21st. We're sitting in it right now.
That was one of the questions I was going to ask you, because I think you live just up the road here a little bit.
I live less than a mile from here.
And I figured that the radio station was probably in your district, but I have trouble remembering which district I live in. It's 18 or 19, I think. But anyway,
Please don't ask me. I have hard enough keeping up, especially after the redistricting with my entire district.
well, before we get into the nuts and bolts here, the district that you represent, can you describe the geographical area?
Sure. It's back here, just past Peyton Road. We kind of cut across Bethany Lane, right at the interstate where it crosses over Bluebird.
Yeah.
And then it wraps around, if I call it the gas station out the interstate, right at Sparta Pike, where they're putting the Briskin Lane expansion and all that. If you go straight down the interstate, from there, interstate to Leeville Pike, all the way to Hartman. So I have it flipped. I was about 75% rural, 25% into the city of Lebanon, and now it's flipped because of, of course, growth.
How long you been on the commission?
6 years.
So you've served a term and now in your second term.
Second term, yes.
So what's it been like? Has it been what you expected?
Coleman, I was leaving this morning and thinking about diving into that or not. And the first 4 years, it was really enjoyable. And I don't, just fully transparent, I don't enjoy any partisan politics. And just like around our nation, it's infiltrated down into county government. So I just like across aisles, everybody gets along, and we make decisions based on the good of the county, not the good of a political party.
But
So to answer your question, I enjoyed it tremendously for the first 4 or 5 years. This last year has really been trying.
okay. We could get more into that, but I think enough along that line. But what are you have some special issues in District 21 that you feel are unique to you, or maybe to you and a few others? Some things that you hear a lot about from your constituents. Maybe some things you want to get accomplished.
Coleman, pretty much District 21 is a good district. It runs quietly. we might not have the issues that we have in some other areas, but one issue that isn't different than a lot of the rural areas, I have people that don't have water. And believe it or not, you would think the geographical area that I just described, everybody would have water. Mm-hmm. But less than 2 miles from where we're sitting, we have people that don't have water. And I've worked tirelessly for 6 years. Probably people are tired of me to get everybody in my district water. Now, we do have other areas of the county that don't have water and not taken away from them. But the area that runs the Bethany Lane, Cole Lane, right along the interstate area, they have not had water. So we have it. The money's there. We're just waiting for the last 2 or 3 years still to get them water.
Where would the water come from, most likely?
Water Authority.
Water and Wastewater Authority.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Well,
which is City of Lebanon's water that is purchased from them.
Right. Well, what kind of timetable are we thinking about here, or is it even going to happen?
My understanding, it's the right-of-ways are being purchased, all of that. In my mind, and probably the people that live out there, things would have happened quicker, but I do get it. I get it that I don't understand how water's put in, but it would be a brand new water line.
Yeah. And they're quite expensive.
They are.
I know you've heard that.
They are quite, and then the right-of-ways, and that getting permission to go across people's property, and I don't know how water's looped. My understanding, it's not a good idea to have a line that's kind of a dead line at the end. You kind of would like to loop that water. So.
Right. Yeah, right. Okay, well, at least we found out that that is not a problem unique to your district, but it is one that I would not have thought.
Yes, sir.
That what you just said was a problem, but you're working on it.
It is being worked on.
All right. We need to take a break right here. If you just joined us, Mike Kurtz, representing District 21 on the County Commission, is my guest, and this is Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford, and get a battery installed in most vehicles. $149.95. Bates Ford, 1780 Franklin Pike. Now with traffic, let's check in with Chuck.
Good morning. It looked like they were working a wreck over here at Briley Parkway near Ashland City Highway. Still trying to clean up a couple of wrecks out here. One OHB at Hermitage Woods Drive. That's going to be in Hermitage. It's loading up pretty good now through the Mount Juliet area on I-40 going westbound as you head on into Hermitage. It's a little bit heavy westbound. Vietnam Vets there at Conference Drive. It's heavy, but it's moving. Coming out of Murfreesboro, Rutherford County, 24 westbound up through Antioch. Prince's Hot Chicken has new items on a new menu. You got to check them out this weekend. Order online, princeshotchicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
For more than 36 years, Wilson Bank & Trust has been proud to serve communities all across Tennessee. As an independent local bank, we provide banking products competitive with large banks, but delivered with personalized local service. Wilson Bank & Trust has been community-focused since 1987 and looks forward to many more. Discover the power of local community banking that truly makes a difference. Give us a call or come on by any of our local 30 locations or visit wilsonbank.com to learn more. Member FDIC.
We continue here on this Friday morning. Thanks for joining us. My thanks to Mike Kurtz, County Commissioner, representing District 21, for being with us. Your day job, to be a county commissioner, I don't know of anybody that, unless they're retired, that's their main thing. You just serve. It takes an extra allotment of your time, of course, but most of you do something else. And in your case, you work for the Lebanon Special School District.
Correct,
an attorney, right?
Yes, sir.
So school is winding down, and what's it like for you?
So, Coleman, it's the busiest time of the year for me. My responsibilities outside of being the day-to-day legal for the district, I do supervise our IT department and our maintenance department, as well as I'm over the safety and security of the district. I'll be honest, every day at 6:30 when buses start rolling until around 4:30 when the last bus is in, there's several of us that monitor the radio and are a little nervous every day just until everybody's home.
Yeah. Well, I'm sitting here thinking you know all of, or you should be well acquainted with, let's say, the budget for the special school district. You're on the county commission. You have to approve a budget that the Wilson County Schools has. So you are really involved in education.
I am, and we work. I hear Mr. Hutto on here talk about how well we work with Wilson County Schools, and that's true. We don't, both on the county commission, I think our county commission and Wilson County Schools, in the past there might have been, a little bump, but it's seamless now, and we work every day. There's probably not a week that goes by that I don't talk to somebody from Wilson County Schools within my job or something to do with county commission.
Well, budget time is upon us. Are you involved much? Well, let me back up. What committees are you on for the county commission?
Sure. So I serve on it's now called the Public Buildings Committee, which used to be Public Works.
Okay.
I'm also a member of the Judicial Committee, and I chair the Law Enforcement Committee. So those are the three main committees I'm on.
And I didn't mention this in the beginning, but I remember once upon a time when you were in law enforcement. You've done several things in your life.
I have, and I like to think that everything I did helped me to where I'm at now, both on the county commission and working for the school district. But I was in law enforcement for 12 years with the sheriff's office, served as an SRO and supervised the SRO for a little bit there.
What are you hearing from your constituents? And I'm almost sure something pertaining to growth is going to come up, but that is a big thing we've been dealing with for some time, and it doesn't look like it's going away anytime soon. But what are you hearing about that and other things?
Coleman, the getting around Wilson County, just driving the streets, there's two things you notice: the increase in traffic and the increase in houses or apartments or townhomes or whatever's being built. And I hear from even people that have moved here, when's it going to stop? When's it going to slow down? And there's from the building of warehouses out towards Tucker's Crossroads area to noise out in the west end of the county and sometimes around here. But with rooftops, people want, or let me back up, with Costco's that's coming in like to Mount Juliet. I just got to add that it's opening up in June, and I guess it's exciting for me. I like going to Costco myself. But with that, when a Costco comes, we've had a lot of growth because places like that don't come unless there's rooftops. And so how do we build roads? How do we provide sewer and water and the infrastructure to get everybody around town, and how do we educate them? Public education will never go away. There was a push, and it's probably still on our legislators' mind about school vouchers, but public education will be here. I think it is the center stone of why people move to Wilson County, is for the public education.
Do you have people just pretty much saying, Mike Kurtz, fight growth. We got enough. Slow it down. Do you hear that?
Absolutely. I hear it all the time. When's enough?
Yeah.
When is, and what I tell people is, when it comes to what's allowed without a zoning change, there's nothing we can do. If somebody's allowed to build an apartment complex or a house, then they're allowed to do that, just the same as you built your house when you moved here. I talked to somebody this week. They're moving here from California this summer. I have a lot of neighbors that live right behind me that have moved from out west to come here. And most of it is no state income tax, and the difference in how we view things maybe out west in the Ninth Circuit and how things are viewed here in Tennessee.
What part education's got to play a role in that? I don't know how big, but people want nice schools for their children to attend.
School build, and that's great topic, Coleman, because you don't want to build a school that looks so nice that it's a waste of taxpayer money. But people also want to go drive by and think, oh, that's a nice looking school. And there's a balance there. And, both with whether it's Lebanon Special School District or whether it's Wilson County schools, schools are built with taxpayer funding. And both school districts are funded through TISA as well as, local property tax dollars. And so we want to make the buildings that look nice, and they have to last. And sometimes that's a hard thing to manage.
Yeah. What about infrastructure, roads in particular, but water, sewer? We've talked about this a bit, but what I'm thinking about is the future, and are we keeping things in place as well as we need to? What kind of grade? How do you view that?
So in my opinion, I think both all of the cities do a fine job with trying to keep up with infrastructure. The county maintains, they don't own any sewer lines or water lines outside the water authority. The city of Lebanon, I think, has done a fantastic job trying to provide the infrastructure to where we are going. The problem is, I don't think we listened to people in the past that said, hey, Wilson County, you're going to be big by 2025. Pay attention. And then all of a sudden it's 2025. Coleman, I moved here in 1993. December of 1993, I graduated from Western and moved here. And if I'm not mistaken, the city of Lebanon was around 15,000 people there. And 30 years later, when all of the experts were saying, y'all are going to be a pretty large city, it's too far off. It's kind of like retirement. When you're young, it's so far off, and now we're here. How do we keep up? Right now, and I'll say from Lebanon Special School District, we just presented a growth plan for the next, looking back at the previous 5 years, birth rates, building permits, and houses out of the ground. And we'll need a middle school and a elementary school with students in it by 2029. And
5 years.
In 5 years, and those don't get built overnight. Now we have the property for both. It's a funding issue. So on the county side, I'm probably not I'm more of a let's tackle the elephant in the room. And without you even asking me, I'm gonna go into property tax and
that was next on my list.
What do I see? And no one wants a property tax increase. I pay property taxes. I don't know how we fund the things in county government without property tax increase. Now, we've had very few over the last 15 years. I think there might have been 2 property tax increases. But when we talk about employee pay, the buildings we're going to build, and there's some differences of opinions because the general public doesn't understand that we have debt service funds that pay for building the buildings, and those are in good shape. And we issue bonds, and we can make those payments. But my father-in-law, he only cares about one thing. How are we doing everything we're doing? And then we get a property tax increase. He doesn't care where the money comes from as long as it doesn't come from him. And I hear that all the time from him. With employee pay, we've tackled that over the last 2 years. And I think our mayor's done a good job presenting the county commission with a plan. My issue is, though, I was under the understanding with our pay plan for our employees that everybody was slotted with into the years of experience. And I own that. I didn't realize that they were put in out on the pay plan to get us there on the pay plan. So on the law enforcement committee, we've had 2 or 3 different discussions on correcting that and getting pay up to where it needs to be to match the surrounding areas and take care of our employees.
Would you say that a property tax increase somewhere down the road is inevitable?
I kind of danced around that, didn't I, Coleman? I don't see how we can manage what I see coming without a property tax increase. Now, I don't see it this year, but I definitely would see it in the next 2 or 3 years. Mm-hmm. And it could be this year. There's no talk about that. I think we can do everything we're doing right now. But we've got 2 schools under construction. Well, let me back up. We got 1 school under construction and another school out on the Central Pike area that will be, it's in the planning stages. Right. The bids are going out. And then the bids have come back on a multi-level court complex over on the old Highland Heights Church property.
Yeah, right. Well, we're about out of time here, Mike, but just sitting here listening to you and realizing the many different things you have to think about in your job. You're in one school district, and as a county commissioner, you're thinking about the other school district and everything pertaining to the county. You got a lot on your mind, don't you?
I do have trouble going to sleep sometimes, Coleman.
Hey, thanks for being with us.
Thank you, Coleman. Appreciate it.
Appreciate your visit. Mike Kurtz, he is the County Commissioner representing District 21. And that is part 1 of Coleman and Company. We hope you'll keep it right here for more FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Want to thank Absolute Kubota. They'll help you rent the right tool for the job. The Kubota Orange Rental Program makes it easy to rent the right equipment. Stop by Absolute Kubota, check out the U35 excavator or the SVL 75 compact track loader, 1506 West Main. Now at traffic, here's Chuck.
Good morning. We see his heavy traffic right now coming up through the Antioch area on I-24 westbound. Coming in right now from Murfreesboro, Rutherford County. It's pretty busy also on 24 right now out of Clarksville, coming through that section of Robertson County, Pleasant View, coming eastbound there on 24 through the Jolton area. It's increased even more through Brentwood, Franklin on 65 going northbound. At least it's moving up through Williamson County. Princess Hot Chicken has new items on a new menu. Check them all out this weekend. You won't be disappointed. PrincessHotChicken.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
Are you facing a challenging time that you need help navigating? Well, look no further than your local law firm of Kane and Crowell. At the offices of Kane and Crowell, our team of experienced attorneys is here to guide you through every step of the process. With a proven track record of success and a commitment to our clients and our community, look no further than the team at Kane and Crowell to fight for your rights and provide representation you deserve. 615-784-4800.
Gregory Dental Group in Lebanon is in a new location, 1746 West Main in Lebanon, across from Sports Village. Gregory Dental Group offers cosmetic procedures, dental implant services, and digital dentures. Premium dentures in just 2 appointments.
Hi, I'm Dr. Derek Gregory. In my office, you can count on a compassionate staff who will truly listen to you, take the time to get to know you, and discuss your personal needs.
No insurance? No problem. Call about the discount plan. Gregory Dental Group, 444-0322.
Cloudy skies with periods of rain will continue for today. A few rumbles of thunder also possible. Afternoon highs around 70. Rain likely for tonight. Lows will be in the lower 60s. And the scattered thunderstorms continue for our Saturday. Afternoon highs in the mid to upper 70s. This weather forecast brought to you by Walker Auction and Realty. Professional auction and real estate services. Get top dollar for your home, land, or personal property. Log on to MikeWalkerAuctions.com. They know auctions. That's a look at your forecast. I'm Storm Specialist Drew Richards.
And we welcome you to part 2 of Coleman and Company here on what looks like going to be a rainy Friday. We welcome 2 members of the C&D team of Exit Rocky Top Realty. We are glad to see Miss Judy this morning. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
You got a story to tell in a minute, I'm sure. Medina, good morning to
Good
you.
morning, Coleman.
Oh, Judy Cox, Medina Heaven-Toller, the C&D team, Exit Rocky Top Realty, located at 1330 West Main in Lebanon. They are great people. They offer great service. They're people you can trust, and you don't look like you normally do this morning. Your left arm, anyway, Miss Judy.
Don't you like my hairdo? Mike has learned the new word of teasing, what teasing means.
Oh?
He didn't know what that meant, but he does now.
Has to do with your hair, right?
That's right. And he has been trying his best. He's been waiting on me hand and foot. Just doing really good, and the kids have all been there to help. So we're making it through. It's going to be a long
quickly,
process.
Tell us what happened.
I just tripped over the rocker of a rocking chair, just barely tipped it, and fell over on a concrete patio.
Ooh.
And I blew the elbow out and then broke the bone on the arm 3 places. So it's going to be probably close to Thanksgiving before I'm out of this deal. It's going to be a long, drawn-out process because the doctor said, when you do it, you did it right. So,
well, I think Susie wound up with your X-ray in her telephone and showed that to me the other day. I can't read X-rays; it didn't mean much to me, but they said it was a pretty bad break.
Yeah, well, a lot of them, when they look at it, they go, "Oh man, you really did it up right." So, but that's all right. If you're going to do something, you might as well do it good, right?
Well, hopefully you're not in much pain.
No, the pain's been good. We're managing that, so it's just learning to be careful and not go fast, and that's the hard part for me.
Well, what you got to say about real estate?
Well, I wanted to thank everybody. I've gotten cards from a lot of people that I don't really know that have said, I listened to you on Coleman, and I'm sorry you fell and everything. And it's been really nice to get cards from listeners to the Coleman Show, and they put we listen to the Coleman Show and we hear you. So that's been really nice. Yeah. But I was going to talk a minute about inspections. When you have a contract on the house and the home inspector comes out, they usually make a list of everything that they find wrong. So the buyer takes the home inspection report and looks at it and goes, okay, I can live with that. I want this fixed. I want this fixed, that fixed. And then the agent sends back a report to the selling agent that says, this is what the buyers want done. Well, normally, used to a long time ago, people would just say, okay, I'll fix that, fix that, fix that. And you just said, I'll fix it. But now the wording on it really matters a whole lot, because most buyers now and most agents, to do your justice to your buyer, it needs to say the plumbing will be repaired or replaced by a certified professional, licensed professional. Mm-hmm. Because used to people would say, the seller might say, oh, I'll just go in there, I'll fix that for him, and I'll fix this for him. Well, if they're not especially plumbing and electrical, if they're not certified and licensed, you're not sure if they knew what they were doing. Mm-hmm. Sometimes you can put lipstick on a pig kind of thing and bandage stuff up enough that it looks good and it's working, but it might not work a long time. And the liability, we don't want that liability of somebody fixing electrical, especially that is not licensed and certified and bonded and insured and all those things. Mm-hmm. So when you word those repairs, you want that to be worded so that the seller knows exactly he's got to hire somebody to fix this stuff unless he's certified himself.
Yeah.
And a lot of repair things come back, and agents get in a hurry and just go, they just want this fixed, but they don't say by who. So that's something you want to kind of keep in mind, that you're covered with that kind of thing.
Right.
And then the inspection, once the buyer and seller agree that I'm going to buy it if you're going to fix X amount of things, then when they come to an agreement, then it becomes an amendment to the contract. So they have so many days to get it done. And then usually we want to go back and walk through and inspect who did it, and I want their paperwork of who did it and what did they do. That way you can go back, if they say they fixed the light switch and it still don't work, or the ceiling fan don't work, you know who to go back to.
Right.
So it's covering the agent, it's covering the seller, and basically it's covering the buyer also. So you just want to be careful how you word what your inspection items that you want fixed, repaired, or replaced. Because there's a lot of difference in repairing and replacing. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people just want to repair instead of replace. So just keep that in mind.
You listening, Medina?
That's a Judy lesson.
Oh, my goodness.
What you got for us?
We have an open house coming up on Sunday in 5 Oaks, and I wanted to invite everybody to come by between 2 and 4 on Sunday. It's 101 5 Oaks Circle here in Lebanon, in 5 Oaks subdivision. It's on a corner lot. You can't miss it. And it's a corner lot with 2 driveways. There's a circle driveway and then a separate driveway to the attached 2-car garage. So I always thought that was nice to have 2 separate driveways. It is a wonderful home with a primary suite on the main level. The kitchen and the primary bathroom has both been remodeled. The HVAC is gas and the water heater is electric, but they have 3 HVACs those are less than 10 years old, all three of them. And then the water heater is electric, and it's less than 3 years old. The roof is new. It was put on in 2022. So it's a great house, custom built by Tim Tomlinson Homes. If you're familiar with him, he's a local builder, been here all of his life. Great builder. And it won Southern Living Magazine's floor plan of the year when it was built. So it has a great floor plan. It has, like I said, the kitchen has been remodeled. It has the quartz countertops. It has the island with electrical plugs,
okay.
And then it also has storage on both sides. And it's a gourmet kitchen with the cooktop and the pull-out shelves and the closed soft cabinet doors. I'm tongue-tied this morning for some reason. And we have 3 bedrooms upstairs.
You're just excited about this house.
I am. I want everybody to come on Sunday. But it has 3 bedrooms upstairs. It has a screened-in back porch, sound system downstairs. It's a wonderful home with a great flow pattern for the floor plan. So give us a call on that one. And then we also have a new listing, 103 West Mead. It's on West Main, right across from Sports
Planet Fitness.
Planet Fitness, thank you. I need my Wheaties this morning. And give us a call on that one. That one is at $399.9, and it is 2,000 square feet with 3 beds and 2 full baths. So give us a call, and we'd be glad to show you any property in town or surrounding counties.
All right. Well, thanks so much for being with us and all those good things. And Miss Judy, it is really good. I was not expecting you back yet. So.
Well, I didn't know if I could do it, but we tried it and we made it.
All right. Well, I guess we'll see you next week.
I hope so.
Thank you so much.
Remember, don't make a move without us.
You got it. C&D Team, Exit Rocky Top Realty, 1330 West Main in Lebanon. Great people, great service. They're people you can trust. And we are about 19 and a half before the 8 o'clock hour. I got a special guest this morning, and I don't even know how exactly to introduce him. I'm going to start it this way, though. He and I grew up in the same area of Wilson County, the Centerville area, I guess, and let me just go ahead and tell you, his name is Clarence Dias. Clarence, good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Now, I'm a little older than you, but you had an older brother who I palled around with a little bit and was over at your house one time, and we happened to go inside, and there in the bedroom was the baby on the bed. He says, "That's Clarence."
Oh, is that right?
So I have known you since you were a baby.
I hadn't heard that.
No, I kind of saved that for this morning. But you have made quite a name for yourself in trapping and doing turkey calls. And we're going to talk about all this morning. But Larry Woody is a good friend of yours.
Yes.
And he has had your picture in the paper many times and written a number of stories about you. And honestly, I've kept up with you a little bit that way.
Yes,
You talked to Larry lately?
I hadn't talked to Larry in about a month. I had invited him to come up and turkey hunt with me a little during the season, but he gets into crappie fishing real hard this time of the year. And so he hadn't answered my emails back in about three weeks or so. So we hadn't had a chance to go turkey hunting. He comes up and deer hunts with me more than he turkey hunts with me.
Well, we're going to hopefully get into as much of this as we have time this morning, but I want to say something else. I would not even really known anymore. You don't have a telephone directory with anybody's cell phone. That's changed, and you've got to know somebody to get a phone number. But it so happened I lost a brother back, I think it was in February, and your sister Tommy Ray passed away just in the last few weeks. And visiting you at the funeral home, I suggested, would you come and be on the radio with me? And you handed me your card here, and anytime, give me a call. So you are here, and that's how that kind of came about.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
But you've got, you've gotten into what you do, and I want you to tell us about it. I mean, the outdoors, the trapping, the hunting, and I mean, your brothers could have done this, but I don't think they have. What possessed you to do what you do?
I don't know. You know, my family has always been outdoors, hunting, fishing, like that, but we didn't really trap at all. My dad did as a young man many years ago, and I got laid off from my job back in the early 80s, and my dad got sick and passed away, and I was moping around over it, looking at some of his old fishing tackle or something there one day, and I run across a couple of old traps he had hanging on the wall, and all he used them for at that time basically was to catch groundhogs in the garden. Mm-hmm. And so, having nothing to do and kind of bored, I took the traps to the creek and started trapping, and I've been doing it ever since. And after I retired, I got more involved with our Trappers Association here in the state, and since that time, my wife Laura and I, we volunteered to do a lot of work for the Trappers Association, and as well as the National Wild Turkey Federation, and it has really gave me an outlet to meet a lot of interesting people down through the years. And
one of them being probably Larry Woody.
Larry Woody being one of them. As a matter of fact, Roy Denny used to chair the local chapter here in Lebanon of the Friends of the NRA, and he called me one time wanting me to donate a turkey call to their fundraising event, and so I was glad to do that. But Laura and I was out of state at the time of the event at the National Trappers Association convention. We were working there in Ohio, and so Larry was covering the event for the local papers here in town, and he was interested in the turkey call. Uh-huh. And he asked Roy about it, and Roy told him, he said, yeah, there's a local guy here that makes those. And he said, well, I'd be interested in talking to him about it because it's for the local papers. And so we set up a meeting, and that's how we met. And we've been kind of hunting buddies ever since. You know?
Okay, well, that's a good story. And we gotta interrupt our interview here for what's called a break, a commercial break, which we're going to do right here. Clarence Dias is my guest, and we'll talk more in a moment here on Coleman and Company, FM 98.9.
And let's see what's happening on the roadways. Thanks to Bates Ford, that regular oil change, $39.95, up to 5 quarts oil, tax and disposal. That's $39.95. 1780 Franklin Road, Bates Ford. Now at traffic. Here's Chuck.
Good morning. They're on the scene of this minor accident, Briley Parkway southbound, right at I-40 over here in the Donaldson area. As traffic cranks up even more, 24 westbound coming out of Murfreesboro, Rutherford County up through the Antioch area. A little bit of rain in certain parts of Middle Tennessee this morning, just to be on the safe side and give yourself extra time. It continues to build on I-40 East coming in from Kingston Springs, in from the Dixon County area. Hey, 24/7 reliable crane and rigging services right here in Middle Tennessee. Tomahawk Crane and Rigging. Check them out at tomahawkcrane.com. I'm Commander Chuck with your on-time traffic.
It's summertime, summertime.
The sun is shining, flowers are blooming, and it's time to get your backyard ready for all that summertime fun.
Well, if you want a bigger backyard, or maybe you don't want to mow anymore, let us help you find the home that fits your needs.
Houses are flying off the market so quickly, you really need to get a real estate agent to help you to find that dream home.
That's why you don't make a move without us.
Call Judy Cox or Medina Himmensholer at Exit Rocky Top Realty. C&D Team, 443-3130.
Coleman and Company, thanks for joining us. Our final segment here for a Friday morning. And if you just tuned our way, thanks so much. Clarence Dias is my guest this morning. And by the way, his last name is spelled D-I-E-S.
Yes.
And I want to think that's a two-syllable word. There's probably some controversy about that. Some people will say dies, and then others will say if it was spelled D-I-A-S, it would be Dias. Mm-hmm. Well, it's D-I-E-S, so I think that's Dias too.
Yeah. It's. I tell people, I said it's just like it looks.
Well, Clarence, let's get into your turkey calls
Yes,
because that's what's on your card, mm-hmm. that your business card that you gave me with your telephone number on it, and it's got a picture. I want you to tell us all about this thing. It's used to use this to call turkeys, yes, and have a better advantage over them when it's hunting time.
Hunting season, yes. They reintroduced turkeys to northern Wilson County here. TWRA did in the mid to late 80s, and they opened the season around 1990 for the first time in this part of the county, our part of the county. And I started, piddling a little bit with turkey hunting. In 92, 93, I really got interested in it and fell in love with it, to be honest about it. I always liked the idea of hunting game that you could call in, you could interact with, so to speak, like ducks. Mm-hmm. Elk is another callable big game animal, and turkeys were the same way, and so I got really involved in the turkey hunting and fell in love with the calling aspects of it and the strategy, and a friend of mine, Tom Kelly, he calls it an intellectual exercise, and when you do it that way, and at some point in time, I got to where I wanted to be able to build a turkey call and call a turkey in with it. I have always enjoyed fooling with woodworking, and that's, and so, but I didn't know how to go about it. And so 98, 99, somewhere along in there, was a couple of guys from Mississippi State University decided they would write a book about the most famous custom call maker in the world, a man by the name of Neil Cost. And so they wrote the book about Neil Cost, and I ordered a copy of it because he was somebody of interest to me. Mm-hmm. And what I didn't realize until I got the book is in the book he described how to make his turkey calls in detail. And they eventually, before he passed away, they wrote 3 books about him, and he covered all of his calls in there, how to build them, how to go about it. And so me, along with most other call makers, use his patterns as the way to build calls. And I must say, I made a lot of scrap, and finally, and it was just a thing that I enjoyed doing, and it was kind of scary at first to leave my calls, the Lynch calls, the Quaker Boy calls, the famous Primos calls. It was scary to leave those at home and carry my own, but for years now, that's all I use is my own calls.
Well, now, I have the picture here,
yes,
but
sir.
How big is this gadget?
That call right there is probably right at 7 3/4 inches long, with the lid being somewhat longer, about 10 inches, and it's about 1.5 inches wide. And 2 inches tall from top.
So I mean, you can have it in your hands.
Yes,
I take it you use your hands to move the what I'd call a plank.
Yeah, the paddle on the top. That's how you do it, and it's just a rhythm. Turkeys are like people. They all have different voices, but they all have a rhythm as to their calling. And if you can get that rhythm, so to speak, down It's really. It's not near as complex and mysterious and voodoo, if you will, as a lot of people think it is. Calling turkeys is a whole lot more of knowing what to say and when to say it and how much to say it and how loud to say it, and that's mostly where we make our mistakes at. And they will let you know when you do something wrong.
All right, now so you've got this turkey call. This really it's like a block of wood. Maybe
this is called a box call.
Okay, and you maneuver this.
Paddle.
It looks like a paddle.
It is. Okay. That's what it's called, a paddle.
All right, so you maneuver that with your handle, and it makes a noise.
Yes.
So you've got to learn how to make that and how to make that appeal to the turkey.
Yes, and that's what you are mimicking a female turkey, a hen turkey, during the mating season. This is in the spring of the year, and you're trying to attract the gobbler to come look for the hen, which is unnatural in the real world, because in the real world the turkeys gobble and the hens go to them. And so you kind of reversing that, but turkeys have a curiosity and they're jealous of others, so they will, if you do things correctly and he wants to, he'll come to see you. And getting into shotgun range is the whole trick of it, and it's extremely enjoyable to me. And like Mr. Kelly says, it's an intellectual exercise, because mostly the turkey that you're trying to get to come is not in sight until he gets real close. So you're listening for him, and you're reacting to him, and he's reacting to you, basically by sound.
This is sort of a game you're playing.
Oh, it is. It is extreme. It is an extreme game, and there's a lot of things that can go wrong. Some of them's your own fault. Some of them is, for example, I have been calling birds to me, and a coyote would run out at them, or a bobcat, or somebody comes down the road over there, or farmer goes across the field on his farm equipment or something like that. There's 10,000 things can go wrong that wasn't your fault,
All right, now, do you make these just for you, or do you make them for the public?
No,
Are they for sale?
I make them for sale, and I started out just wanted one for myself, and some of the guys I worked with wanted some, and I enjoyed building it. It was relaxing to me after a hard day's work. After I learned how, it was relaxing to me to build them, and so I sell them. And
how long does it take to make one?
Probably. I make a lot of blanks, like for the paddle and the base and the end blocks. I make them up maybe 100, 150 at a time.
Oh, wow.
And then I do and then I hand do everything. And probably, and it's a 2-day process because they're glued up, and it has to set overnight. So probably altogether, somewhere in the neighborhood of 8 hours if you put it all down, building one single part at a time.
All right. How much you get for one of these?
Well, the most expensive one that I now build is I get $35 for. I'm not getting rich here.
$35.
Yes, sir.
Well, I had no idea. I'm looking at this and I'm thinking he's probably going to say at least $100.
Yeah. Well, most people do, but when I first started doing this and started selling a few, I made up my mind that if somebody wanted a custom-made call with his name put on it or something, he was going to be able to afford to buy it.
Yeah.
And it's just that simple. It's something I enjoy doing, and I really enjoy seeing somebody that I may have sold one to at a convention somewhere 4, 5, 6 years ago. And he said, "Man, I called in a turkey with the call." I get somebody will send me a picture every once in a while, and it's really great for that.
Well, we didn't establish this in the beginning. You're retired, aren't you?
Yes, sir.
Except for doing turkey.
Yeah.
Where did you work?
I worked for TRW here in Lebanon for 40 years.
40 years.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And retired, and I had already started building turkey calls. I had got sick and had heart surgery and stuff back in '99, and this was about the time the book come out, and so I had time to read the book, and you were out of work for a certain amount of time, so I had some lumber in my shop, and that's when I got started piddling with it then.
Well, this is a great story. I've enjoyed having you. We got a couple of minutes here. You do traveling? You go to some conventions and that sort of thing?
Yes, sir. Trapping wise, me and my wife Laura, we do a lot of work for our Tennessee Fur Harvesters Association, which is one of our state trappers association. We do some work at the National Trappers Association, which they have a convention every year somewhere. In this year, it will be in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. And we go to the Fur Takers of America, which is the other major trappers association in the country, and their convention this year was in Harrisonburg, Virginia, and we represent our Trappers Association at the TWRA and the Tennessee Fish and Wildlife Commission meetings we have for several years. When it's got anything to do with trapping, we meet with legislators, and Laura and I have been doing this for years and years.
Okay, well, glad to know all that. One other, do you do any fishing?
I've got too lazy to. I'll just be honest with you, Coleman. I will every once in a while. Larry will bring me a mess of crappie or something every once in a while. But
we are out of time. Clarence Dodge, thank you so much for coming out, being a part of this. And if somebody wants a turkey call, do you want me to give them your telephone number?
Yes, sir. That'd be just fine.
And I've got your card here. If you want to, you can call me. But it's 615-924-3549.
Yes, sir.
924-3549 for Clarence Dodge if you want to talk about a turkey call. Thank you again for being with us.
Thank you, Coleman.
That is it for a Friday. Have a nice weekend, and until Monday, I wish you a fantastic day.